Coming to you every Tuesday night from the show that never runs out of segues or scooter puns, it's ESG Live with Chuck, Paul, and Ramir. Tonight, we deep dive differences between the old and new Ninebot Max, our top 5 scooters for best build quality, scooter photo showdown, and more. And now, your host, Chuck Temple!
Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back to ESG Live Show. What number is this? Number 68 already. I hope everybody out there had a really good New Year. We're all here enjoying the beginning of 2021. Hopefully it'll be better than 2020. I think it will be. Tonight we have a really special show for you. We have the deep dive on the it's not really brand new, but it's the new Ninebot Max G30LP. So, you know, there's really 2 versions of the Ninebot Max. The original, which is like the bigger one, and then we have this new one, which is a little bit smaller, a different kind of motor. We're going to deep dive into the generations of the motors because we didn't include it in any of the content that we released because, you know, we just didn't want to get too crazy technical, but that's why we're here with you, is to get crazy technical and to answer all of your questions about this scooter and any scooter. So we're going to cover that all in the deep dive. Let's see. Also, we are giving away a Xiaomi digital air pump. It's the Xiaomi Mi digital air pump, courtesy of Apollo Scooter. So shout out to Apollo. Thank you for sponsoring. Well, it's not a sponsor, but it's sponsoring you guys, right? It's hooking you guys up with some goodies. So definitely check out obviously check out the Facebook group. That's how you enter it. The Facebook group is also where you find Photo Friday, Mod Saturday, Scooter Ride Sunday, and an answer to all of your questions, and just like a nice community to be around. If you're on Instagram, check out our Instagram page. We're always doing, you know, behind the scenes stuff, things like that. And then finally, well, obviously if you're on YouTube, you better be subscribed to us and definitely hit that thumbs up button so we can just keep making content like this one. We'd like to get thumbs up, especially if it's good. If it's no good, then give us a thumbs down by all means. I didn't mean that. Just give us a thumbs up no matter what. Okay, let's kick off the show with Photo Friday. Okay, big news, big news this week. We have a new country that has taken over the Philippines in terms of I didn't think anybody could ever beat those guys from the Philippines. Dominic Galuron as the photographer and all those awesome riding groups out there, Cobber Cads and Tiger Riders and all those guys. It looks like the UAE has stepped it up and is now coming in force with this. This is kind of crazy how this whole thing changes. You know, it was Randy Gardner for like forever, and then it's like the Philippines. You know, it kind of moves around. So anyway, honorable mention this week goes out to Kermaine Lee Rogan Laura with this Wolf Warrior. It's a Wolf Warrior 11 Plus in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Kermaine said, quote, David Vosk, hello, sir. Thank you very much. I would like to shout out my loving and supportive wife to Kabayan Jamie, who took the best shot. And shout out to, here come all the riding groups out there. Zero Group D Abu Dhabi, E10 Club D Abu Dhabi, Electric Kick Scooter Abu Dhabi, Xiaomi Scoots Abu Dhabi, Yumi UAE, Fido ABU Dhabi, or Abu Dhabi, Mini Harley Riders Abu Dhabi, Abu Dhabi EUC Riders. We're going to have to limit these shout-outs in the future. EKS Quad Abu, and thank you and more power to ESG. All right, thank you very much. And congratulations for the honorable mention. Runner-up this week goes to RD with a 08X. and it is fresh from Abu Dhabi. It's crazy. I mean, 24 votes for the runner-up. It's not bad. And they say, Happy New Year to all and ride safe. And on the near win, they say, David Voss, thanks, sir. And thank you to guys for giving a reaction to my 08X. I would like to mention my groups here in Abu Dhabi, which is the ZJAD, the same ones as before, EKSAD and E10. Yeah. So anyway, if you want to follow this particular person on Instagram, it's JD Val Madrid, so JAIDIEVALMADRID, and they say ride safe always to all with the emoji like this. Okay, and the winner this week goes out to Bro J Martinez with 32 votes on his 010X in Abu Dhabi. Like I said, the folks over there, they just kind of took over. And I didn't even know there were scooters, but I've seen the streets in the UAE. I've seen pictures, and they look gorgeous. They look like, planned communities or something. It's like really well done streets. And, I think we're going to see one of those streets later in the Scooter Ride Sunday. But on the win, they say, thank you, a quote, thank you, David Vosk and the ESG family. Right on. Big shout out to Zero Group D Abu Dhabi, E10 Club D Abu Dhabi, Electric Scooters Abu Dhabi. Turn the page. And my pages are stuck. And a few more. Xiaomi Scoots Abu Dhabi, Yumi UAE, Fido Abu Dhabi, Mini Harley Riders Abu Dhabi. Same ones as before. It's like copy paste. Abu Dhabi EUC Riders, EKS Quad Abu Dhabi. Thank you and more power. Congratulations to you. And to all the riders in Abu Dhabi. Those are beautiful pictures, and you guys are doing a great job getting those over. I'd love to see the Philippines come back in and see if they can still next week. We'll see what happens. All right, cool. We're going to do a quick commercial break sponsored by us here at Electric Scooter Guide. The new and improved Electric Scooter Guide website now includes an updated database which adds water resistance ratings and scooter dimensions, all sortable and filterable and available in metric and imperial. Updated performance data of over 40 top electric scooters, including range and acceleration. The results of the world's largest electric scooter survey, showing you the top 13 electric scooters as voted by actual riders. Extensive reviews of over 43 electric scooters. The world's largest collection of updated and exclusive coupon codes to save you some cash. A new group ride finder local to your area. Check it out at electric-scooter.guide.
They're hoping that they catch me riding dirty, try to catch me riding dirty, try to catch me riding dirty, try to catch me riding dirty, 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 dirty.
Dirty, dirty, dirty. Hey.
What's up, Ramir?
What's up, Chuck? How are you?
Good, man. I like your jacket. You always coming in fresh.
It's cold. It's cold to me. I know David's going to say, hey, it's not cold out there. You guys live in California. But
yeah,
I'm actually pretty cold every single time.
Shout out to Mr.
Vosk.
You gotta play the whole thing.
You have to.
For the shirt.
But I like your shirt too, though.
Yeah,
well.
that was courtesy of David Vosk. E-Sleeps. And it kind of matches your stuff today and the scooter a little bit.
Yeah,
So I figured I'd just bust it out because
yellow mellow everywhere.
Why not?
So how was your weekend? What did you do? And Happy New Year's. I didn't say Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you and Happy New Year to everybody. New Year's was as good as it could be when you can't go to a party. We had our own little pickleball, separated party. We played some pickleball, drank some mimosas out there. I bought some real dark stout beer, which is my favorite, actually. And we just had that and then tried to play some games. And it was cool. It was cool. Yeah. And then watch some basketball, watch those Warriors win.
Oh, yeah. Steph Curry, he went crazy this weekend.
Man.
But as for me,
how was yours?
Just with the family. We counted. actually, me and my wife went to sleep. We're kind of getting up there. The kids, you know,
Before midnight?
Before midnight. And then other than that, just stayed at home, you know, chill. I watched the Scooties.
Oh, okay.
You know, I seen the Scooties. It premiered on the 31st.
Yeah.
And I got a chance to watch it.
Did you guys watch it? Let us know if you guys saw the Scooties.
Speaking of the Scooties,
Yeah.
is your wife still mad at you? Because I know you got it.
Yeah.
You got in the hot tub with the suit you got married in.
I did. Yeah, that was, she definitely, you know, razzed me about it. She put it on her Instagram, actually, saying, like, this is his only suit. And, it was, she's okay. She's okay now.
That's cool. I think we have it. For those who haven't seen it, I think, Richie, we have it. We have it ready? That's cool? Yeah, let's
play a little bit.
Let's just play the opener.
Yeah. This is Chuck Temple, and welcome to the second annual Scooties. We have a...
What you doing, man? No!
I took the Scooties. Oh, yeah. Ride safe and don't forget to wear your helmet.
Excuse me? Think I lost.
I've recovered the Scooties. These awards were voted on by users from the Facebook group, the ESG subreddit, and our YouTube community. Let's get on with the show. Are you ready for the 2020 Scooties? Here we go.
Yeah, so, you know, if you guys haven't checked that out, check that out on our channel. Thank you, Chuck, for beating up that guy because he pretty much mugged me out of nowhere.
Who was that?
I have no idea, but I didn't avenge us. You
Terrible. Terrible.
All right, so let's get into community content.
All right.
So first up, we have Scooter Ride Sunday. That's where you show your group rides, you know, where you're out with your family, with your friends. We love to see you ride. So every Sunday on the Facebook group, please send us your videos because we love this part of the show. And up first, we have Corey Build Free. He shares a slow-mo of, it's a slow-mo video of him riding in ice. There he goes, Chuck. Yeah. It's ice cold. He has a little bit of music. What type of scooter is that?
Pretty cold out there. I'm looking. It's, you know, the front red could be the Skywalker.
That's what I'm thinking.
Skywalker, right? Was red.
Yeah.
Or was it blue and I was red?
I don't know.
I know it's my Facebook profile picture, actually. It's been a while since we wrote it, though. Okay, next up. Paula Caballero Santos posted this video. Basically, Countryside Riding is the name on this one. This is pretty cool.
Oh, music. Here we go.
Here we go. No monetization on YouTube. Every week. That's how we do it. Wouldn't have it any other way, though.
Yeah, we need Super Chat. But that's a nice ride, man. I like the shot.
Yeah.
Shout out to the guy who's recording this. I know we always talk about the riders, but you know, this guy's actually riding his I don't know. Maybe
pretty.
scooter.
It looks pretty. Where is this? I wonder where this is. Not. I don't think this is U.S. Do you think it's Philippines?
Probably. I don't know.
There's a cow on the side of the road.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Whoa! Who's that?
Motorcycle guy came out of nowhere out there. Get out the way. Who was that? Paul? On the motorcycle?
Paul went out there.
All right. Up next, we have this. Hey, he just submitted for Photo Friday, but Artie, he has a video showing his. Here's his group ride from Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I like it. Nice cuts.
Yeah.
Nice pants.
Yeah, it's nice. See, I'm telling you, their roads are just clean. And look, they got this whole blue area. I'm assuming this is just for, bikes and whatever.
Oh, yeah, look at all that.
Right? Separated from the cars. We need something like that here.
We sure do.
And some blue skies. That would be nice once in a while.
Yeah, that was nice.
I would like some blue skies. All right, next up. Bro J. Martinez shared this photo of his Zero riding group in Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
Shout out to Abu Dhabi. All those people coming in to the ESG Facebook group from Abu Dhabi. We welcome you. I don't have the right thing to say. I have to learn to say hello and whatever language is going on over there.
This next photo comes from Dion Salbumbides. He shared a group of it's a photo of his first group ride of 2021.
There we go.
Him and his peeps. I see is that a cruiser? Yeah. I think that's a cruiser. That orange is,
It's kind of small. I got to look at it up close to see what the other ones are.
Yeah.
Can you pick them out? Let me just see here. I don't have them loaded on my computer.
It's all right.
All right, cool.
Somebody in the comments to get it. But also, in addition to Scooter Ride Sundays, we have Mod Saturdays where people show their accessories, their mods, their upgrades. My favorite part of the show, because I can't fix a light bulb, and these guys and gals are modding out their scooters. Up first. Go ahead, Chuck.
All right. First up, we got JP showing his custom scooter with lights everywhere, graffiti-style art deck. And a song.
Oh, okay. Nice. You know what I want to see these graffiti decks? Do they get them like that, or do they have somebody make them?
Well, I think sometimes you can buy them, like Carbon Revo and stuff like that. You can get them, and I don't, but I think some people, like a couple weeks ago, this guy was doing that henna tattoo on his fender. So it's cool when people are kind of doing their own thing.
It's like a scooter love serenade here.
Oh, there you go, Paul.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, we had sort of the inspirational scooter.
Yeah.
And I hate to talk over the guy's video. I did so much work on that, but yeah.
It's like a love video.
It does.
Is.
It looks
like
love
a
song.
tribute to his.
Yeah.
I love you, scooter. I ride. I want to
If you can get, a lot of people have those Bluetooth speakers on them, and then they can just be blasting their love music everywhere. That's spreading the love.
It's pretty baller. All right, next person. We have El Alim showing his Ultron Mini. He has lights on his stem. Check it out.
Nice.
Ultron. Forever.
Dunder Mifflin Infinity. I like the deck. I like I'm utilitarian, but scooters that have lights is like my way of being like, it's like showing off, but it's also really safe.
Yeah.
It's like you want that kind of stuff. I mean, it's a cool mod. It's a good mod to do.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's a beefy scooter though.
What type of scooter is it?
Ultra.
Oh, Ultra. You're tripping.
Ultron. They have a few different models. Music gets me pumped up though. Oh, I like. Did you see the
we
shake?
didn't get the bass drop when we previewed this.
I know. Did you see the camera shake there?
The buildup was killing me though. I'm like, I want to see where this is going.
I know. I almost started dancing.
When the beat drops.
Okay, next up. You've seen him before, Andy Touche. So here's the mod. 11-inch tires. Check out this. First of all, just like the beauty of this shot with, the old parts of, what did you say before?
Oh yeah, we got camshafts. I see some cylinder heads in there. It's sort of like old versus new. It's like
very
old
cool.
stuff is dead, the new stuff is here.
It's very, very cool. So it's a let's see, it's 11-inch tires, lowered suspension, custom CNC rear rack, mountain bike stem and handlebars, and lights on the battery pack. So heck of a lot of stuff. I love those lights up top because that just like, you know, lights up the road so nice. Everybody sees you. I mean, it's a Wolf Warrior-esque.
Okay.
Awesome.
Last but not least, we have Tal Kaplan shares a photo of custom blue Eno Chemox. Pretty sweet. Check this out. Boom. Look at that blue. And the next photo.
How did he get a blue one though?
I don't know.
Because like our ox is orange. I thought they were all orange.
There it goes. Sky
Did he
blue.
he didn't replace everything. No.
No, he had.
Now they must make a orange. Maybe, you know, maybe we just get sent orange every time.
Every
I
single
guess
time.
orange is cool for like taking videos and doing what we do, but the blue is my favorite color.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite color?
It's red.
Why?
I like blood. I like the color of blood. Since you,
I was not expecting that answer.
yeah, it's a nice color. Like you ever watch a movie when they have like the blood tone red? I
Yeah,
think it pops out
sure.
pretty nice.
You know, I think that's custom. There are no blue Inochemoxes on the internet.
Okay,
Yeah.
because actually even the lettering is blue on that Eno can.
I don't know.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Can't find an example.
Very cool. Okay, and speaking of the Ox, let's talk about the next scooters to review after I tell you that, hey, if you want to be included in all this kind of good content, just join the ESG Facebook group. It's located in the video description for your clicking pleasure.
Clickety-clack.
All right, next scooters to review. All right, so this is where we talk about our content that's coming up. Basically, if you missed the Scooties are the big award show that comes out the end of every year. Definitely watch it. You know, it's fun. You know, and actually every single award was voted on by actual people
guys.
in our Facebook group, in our YouTube group, and on the subreddit, Electric Scooter subreddit. None of it was our choice, and even if we had a runoff, that was posted on the Facebook. So it's 15 different awards, all kind of people's choice type stuff. And then, you know, you saw the intro.
Seen it.
Yeah. Okay. The Ninebot Max review launched today at 9 a.m. We also had a separate video that really just compared the 4 top differences between the original, the OG Max, and the LP Max, which is the newer one.
Yeah.
You can consider the older Max as the G30. That's like the model number, I guess, at least here in the United States. And then the model number of the new one is the G30LP. I'll go over that in a second.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that launched. Next up, scooter I'm really looking forward to is the Ox O. We finally got it. I know. FedEx has one of them.
Still.
Actually, yeah, I play pickleball with a guy that works for FedEx. I kind of wonder sometimes. Barry, I know it was you, man, that took that OXO that they couldn't find. Anyway, I wrote it. Paul wrote it already. As soon as we got it, I've been chomping at the bit to ride it because the Ox is one of my favorite rides ever.
Yeah, I love the OXO.
And the
I
OXO
can't wait to do the testing.
It's just
on
more
it.
powerful.
Yeah, it's
And hydraulic brakes. It's
Yeah.
really nice.
So yeah, the first look is dropping Saturday.
Yeah, the first look is around Saturday.
Let them know that.
I mean, if we can get it, I've been riding it every day that I can. Okay, so that first look's coming out, and then the following 2 weeks from today will be the full review. We're going to have the King Wolf Warrior Gold Edition 72 volt from Voro, which is on its way. Supposedly, it's been on its way for 3 weeks, so maybe they're riding it up from LA. I don't know. But it'd be cool to hang out with Melvin and that puppy. Anyway, then we've got the top 5 scooters for the rain. I know it's already rainy season, so we're trying to get that out as soon as possible. But we had to do all kinds of tests on that thing. And Paul has been basically just like mad scientist in the rain, you know.
dragging things, knocking things over.
Yeah. And
splashing
so
water everywhere.
Getting Raimier really wet and all the camera gear.
Yeah.
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 So it's good, and actually there's a lot of science that went into this that was new for us, which means I think it's new for a lot of people that, you know, stuff I learned about like how grippy is certain decks. I mean, we went deep into this to make this video. So that is going to launch most likely Saturday the 16th. So another 10 days. So just hold tight, and then we'll get that for you. And I think we have other scooters here, but man, those are the ones that we're trying to get done next. Cool. All right, it's time for the deal of the week. Let's do this. The deal of the week this week is the Splach. So the Splach, we did that review a bit ago. It's kind of a Franken scooter, but it has kind of a mix of features that you just don't see that often on other electric scooters. It's got like dual suspension. It's got some pretty awesome stuff. They are now doing, so the original price on the Turbo, which is the one that we reviewed, even though people were confused because they gave us the blue colored one, even though at first the Turbo was always orange. We have the Turbo for sure, 100%. So that's what the review is on. So now no matter what color you get, we have the review on the Turbo. That is normally $999. They gave us a $130 off coupon code, which actually brings a $900 scooter. And that's a pretty legit value at $900. They brought it down $130. So ESGSPLACH. Don't put a T in there. I keep spelling it with a T, and I don't get anywhere. So it's Splach without the T. Anyway, use that code, and then you can also get it on the Ranger too. So if you just don't need quite the power, you get that thing for $669, and at $669, those are good. The value is actually there with those scooters, especially with that discount. So anyway, check that out. The details of that are in the video description. All right, and now a quick commercial break sponsored by Voro Motors.
All right, people, I'm gonna give it to you straight. Single is better. Going single helps keep costs down, and you can spend that money on something else, like pizza. Sometimes pairs can get overwhelming. There's just too much drama, and you might run into power issues. And what if it just goes too fast, and you're not ready for it? Well, when you go single, you don't have to worry about any of that. What, you thought I was talking about dating? Nah. Voro Motors, single motor scooters without the drama.
You've made it this far to the deep dive of the Segway Ninebot Max G30LP. We're going to cover everything that you wanted to know about this scooter and more. If you are in the live chat right now, you want to ask a question, you just ask it. You probably get a bunch of responses, especially from Nordium. Shout out to Nordium and Norbot. We'll do a better shout out in a second. But if you want to ask us over at ESG a question, hit @electricscooterguide, and then I'll get that in a shared Google Doc, and because I just can't see the questions on the live chat, even though I would love to and just hang out with everybody. So the Ninebot Max, let me just intro this scooter real quick, because you should know this scooter is going to go down. I mean, there's certain scooters that are going to go down as like markers of this industry. The Ninebot Max is one of those scooters. You have a few scooters out there that are the most like top sellers in the industry that have really like changed that industry and moved it forward. And so, at first we had really the Xiaomi M365, which was like the Canon, the scooter. It was like the one that everybody knew about. It was the one that like Bird launched when they first started scooter sharing and all that stuff. Fast forward about a year and a half after they launched that, and Segway came out with the Ninebot Max, right? And the Ninebot Max was this bigger scooter. It was way better build quality. It was actually built for the sharing market, and it quickly, I don't have the exact numbers, but from the numbers that I know about, I know we went black, so just bear with me, guys. It'll be a podcast for a second. For the numbers that I know about, the Ninebot Max is the #1 top scooter for selling and has overtaken the M365, even though it's more expensive. And what I think is the reason for that is that it's actually it's built like a dang tank, right? It's built for the sharing market. It's built like a tank, and all that kind of stuff. So let me just introduce Paul. Paul, welcome to the show.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Let me get your mic on. There we go.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. How are you doing, Paul?
I'm doing great. How did the suit come out? Did it survive? Is it going to be wearable?
Yeah, I think it is. I haven't tried it on yet, but my wife saved it from,
Nice.
I just threw it over a fence outside and she hung it up for me.
Nice,
So that
nice.
was good. Yeah, how's your New Year, Paul?
It's good. Home. It's like everybody.
Yeah.
But good.
Yeah,
Good. Happy it's
good.
2021.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully next New Year's it'll be like the biggest party ever.
Oh my God.
I think it will
so.
be.
Yeah.
If anybody has any social skills left. I don't know what I'm gonna do at a party. I'm just gonna look around like really scared. Anyway, so let's talk about the Ninebot Max. It's the new one. So
there's a lot of
old one, new
confusion
one.
around this, and so I
Yes.
think that's why we got a ton of
Yes.
interest in our first look video, where we kind of break down the differences there, because it's confusing. These vegetable soup, it's like we have the L and the LP, and the different countries have different
And
letters after
that's
them,
right.
and then they're both called Max, but one's only kind of a Max, and so
one is like a mini
Max, yeah.
or like a Max with a lowercase m.
Some people call it a Max Light.
I've heard that before, but I don't see that on Segway's literature. So
it's really confusing.
It is confusing, but it deserves a show, a review, because
it's a different beast.
It's a different scooter, and it's the. I don't want to say successor. Successor is the wrong word.
No, because
It's
they
not
still
a
make the other
successor.
one.
It's just a new model
Yeah.
that is different and has different sizes and different performance.
It's like a spin-off.
Spin-off.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Yeah. So reminder, if you have questions, we'll get to them about the Ninebot Max. We'll get to them for you. So I guess first let's go over just the main differences between the old. I don't even want to say old. It's not even old. They've refreshed the motor on it, right, already. They're still selling them. I would assume they're selling more of the originals. But anyway, the differences between the G30. So when we say G30, that is the original Max. It's the larger Max. It's the Max that has been around forever, right? If we say OG, right, that's the original Max, right? If we say G30LP or the new one or the light, that's all the new one.
Or just LP.
And it's also the white one in
Yeah,
all the videos.
that
So
helps.
we have one white and one black one, just so that we can,
So grateful they didn't keep them exactly the same color. It would have been impossible.
Yeah, for sure. So first so the big differences, I mean, there's two main differences, right? And one of them is the size. So the new one, right? The new one, G30LP, it is smaller. And that is, I feel a little bit bad about the size of it, and I'll tell you why in a second, because
You did that.
I don't know that I did that, but I definitely was.
I think you did.
One of the people that. Well, I'll tell the story. The deck length went from 19.8 inches, which is pretty nice, to 17.3 inches. And so that is a 2.5 inch difference. And whereas the old one was like pretty nice, pretty comfortable, you can see where my feet are on this one. The newer one, I do have to, you are cramped a little bit more. And then we can show Ramir's feet here. Ramir, which size are your shoes?
I wear a size 13.
Okay. So I'm a size 9. He's a size 13. And so you can see the difference in the shoe size there. The newer deck is much smaller. Oh, here we go. This is I hope you can kind of see. My heel is actually probably past the fender on the left side too. So it does make a difference. It does make a difference. The other thing is the handlebar height. So we always measure the deck to handlebar height because that makes a big difference for different sizes of riders. It went from 40.25 inches, which is actually pretty long. It went down exactly 2.5 inches to 37.75 inches, which for me, I'm okay with that. But for Ramir, so I want to show you a picture of Ramir. So what I want you to look at is look at his elbow bend, right? The flex of his elbows. So in order for Ramir to be able to literally hold onto the handlebars, it looks like a toy, right? His elbows are all the way extended, and that is not a great way to ride. So now if you compare that with a picture of myself riding, look at my elbows. I'm probably, what is that? A little over 90, maybe I'm 100, 110 degrees. Is that right? Right, 90, right, a little bit more than 90, right? Yeah, so 100, 110. Ramir's at like 180, basically, right? That is a big difference. This is a pretty good riding position for me. I don't like to be fully at 90. I like to be just over 90. And that's something that, you know, you all can measure when, you know, if you need to. But I would say somebody that is, you know, I'm 5'7.5", and Raymir is 6'3". And so, you know, that's the difference, right? We probably need someone that's like exactly 6 feet or 5. How tall are you, Paul?
I'm 5'9.5".
Yeah, so Paul would be a better, yeah, we should have had Paul take a picture on that. But yeah, so I would say, you know, between the deck size and the deck to handlebar length, you are, you know, you're looking at the newer one that is smaller, and it's not meant for larger people. In my opinion, I don't think people over about 6 feet are going to feel comfortable on that. I have seen some comments already coming in from our review video of people that are 6 feet, and they're doing okay with it, right? But I guess, you know, everybody's body is different also, right? So anyway, next up is weight. So it is a little bit lighter, as you would expect from, you know, a smaller size scooter. So it went from 43.1 pounds on the older one to, now Segway says 38 pounds. We're measuring this at 39.2, and we think we're right.
Yeah, so it's a 3.9 pound difference, about 4 pounds, about 10%.
Yeah.
Just noticeable, but not huge.
Yeah, you can pick them both up, but you know, maybe if you're carrying it, if you have to carry it a lot, I guess that 10% can make a little bit of a difference, but it's not huge. Yeah, it's not huge. The other thing that was different, and one thing that really all the Segway riders really actually liked a lot, was that dual charging port, right? You've got, we got a picture here. And so, you know, the original Max, this is basically a commercial for the original Max, this whole thing, but you had, this was the first time in the industry where they actually had the power brick located inside the scooter. And so you would only need to bring the Mickey Mouse ear cord without the brick. It's like the one that, you know, a lot of laptops connect through that. But you could also have your normal power on the other side. Now, you couldn't charge both at the same time. It's one or the other, right?
That's right.
Paul, you have a...
Yeah, and so I've got the cord here, and you know, I was reading a lot about this online, and there are a couple advantages. I mean, one is people, you know, if you have, this is for the OG Max, the original dark gray Max, where you have the 2 ports, you could just plug, you know, this kind of cord just like straight into the scooter, and it's got the brick inside. So you just had to bring less stuff with you when, if you wanted to charge, like say at work or something. But somebody else pointed out they lost their cord, and other people said,
their charger.
Hey, yeah, well, no, he lost their cord, his cord, and it's like, well, at least it was just a cord, not a charger. And so,
they lost that.
One of the
part
advantages,
of it.
if you're out and about with one of these and leave it behind,
Those cost nothing.
It's not a big loss, and
they'll probably charge you a bunch for the full charger. I was just thinking, if you are out and about and you lose your full charger, you could also just grab somebody's, you know, somebody's backpack. They're bound to have one of those cords, so you can always get that thing charged. So anyway, with the new one, to make a long story short, the new one does not have that. We have a picture of this for you. It just, you know, it's standard, right? Like a lot of things about the newer Max, it's kind of average, right? It's not average in build quality. We'll get to that later. But in terms of features and size, the size is not too small. It's just that the original Max was like nicely sized, like kind of big and comfortable. This one has just the normal port, but also the cover is, again, it's pretty normal. A lot of scooters have this like rubber kind of thing that is kind of a pain in the butt to get in there, whereas the older one has a spring-loaded cover where it just flops back in, and then it gets a nice seal, like extremely easy. It's like the nicest door I've ever actually seen on a scooter before.
I was surprised.
They've just done such a good job with the original.
I was surprised how different that was, watching you like latch and unlatch. It was like it went from
I can't do it. I can't
from first to worst in this case.
Almost, basically. Basically. So that one, and then finally the range. And so the range was different, right? We got, obviously, we're not going to get 28.1 miles on the new one because it is a smaller battery. It's smaller by 2/3. However, we didn't get 2/3 the range. Yeah. We actually got less than half.
That really surprised me. When I went out to range test it, I was geared up for spending a certain amount of time out there, and it trucked along. Well, we'll get into the sort of the characteristics of how it delivers the power later, but it was a surprise. Yeah, expected 18, close to 20 miles, and got 13.6.
So we looked into this quite a bit, and we found out, and we're going to cover that in a second, but there are different motors on the scooter. But before we get into that, based upon the size, the range, and all that kind of stuff, I wanted to know what Raymir, as the big dog, thinks about the scooter, what's his perspective?
The new LP, the LP.
Yeah.
Let me just say this: the Ninebot Max, the original, the OG Ninebot Max. I love that thing. You know, it was a tank. The range was there, everything was there, the speed and whatnot. But with the LP, it has all the same features besides the range. Like it feels great. It can pick you up, but the smaller size, that kills it for me. Like you see in the picture, my hands are like this, and then my feet are kind of like stacked together, sometimes on top of each other. So, I'm gonna go with Big Dog, not approved. But Big the original Max is cool. But the LP,
not a fan.
I didn't see not for me.
Yeah,
not for me.
There you have it, folks. So not Big Dog approved on the older one, but on the newer one. The older one, absolutely Big Dog approved, right? Yeah. Cool. Okay. Thank you, Ramir. So let's talk about the performance. What performance numbers did we get on this thing?
Yeah, and so it was kind of came out middle-ish and not really, not too surprising. Is it looks a lot like a Ninebot Max and it rides a lot like the original Max, and also against the comparison scooters. And so we kind of covered range already, but so we'll jump over to into top speed. And so for top speed, it was a tiny bit faster than the OG Max. We show 0.2 miles an hour. It felt like maybe a little more than that when we were riding it, but and then the Go Tracks and the Xiaomi Mi M365 are kind of right in there. So it's second fastest, but not by much. I mean, it's just kind of in so many ways this scooter is like what you expect. And so then in acceleration, also it was the slowest of the four, but not by a whole lot.
Much, yeah.
And
half second, 0.3.
And so not the strongest acceleration. And we're gonna do some experiments to see. We're not exactly sure why it was as different as it was from the Ninebot Max. Because we have a Generation 1 motor on the OG Max that we have, and we'll talk about that more a little later. And then on hill climb, it was a similar story. The OG Max was the fastest up the hill, and this was second fastest. And we did even did a little race up the hill with Chuck and I. And
our races came out as long as we started even.
Yeah.
And starting on the Ninebot Maxes are always a little wonky, right? Because it's kick to start, and when you're on an uphill, hard to get the exact
That
same.
was actually something I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I meant to include that in this deep dive and didn't, is that it is one of the hardest kick to start throttles that there is, because you absolutely, if you throttle first and then kick, it'll never go. And that is, I feel like the other scooters don't do that, or it's just that the threshold of speed that you need to get the thing going is higher, because it just caught me out so many times.
Yep. And the original one was like that. And I remember testing the original one. It was a spin model for a scooter sharing company. I went to San Francisco because they didn't let, they had to keep it there. I was going up a big hill, and I'm like, I got 4 or 5 false starts, and I'm thinking to myself, what if there's someone smaller than me trying to ride? Because this is marketed to every person out there, right? So what if someone smaller than me is trying to start this scooter on a really steep hill? That is not. I would think about, if you're thinking about getting the scooter, either of them. If your commute, you have to stop at stop signs that are at the middle. San Francisco, they have these super steep hills with red lights in the middle of those hills. It's gonna take some energy. You might get a little sweaty even trying to get that right.
Because it's a little unusual these days. Almost all the scooters you can switch it to zero start, and this one you absolutely cannot. It's gonna be kickstart, all the way.
Yeah.
And so on to braking distance now. This is where the scooter really shined. The original was fantastic, and this one scored even better. It was surprising me. It scored, 10.8 feet is a stellar braking number, and puts it in the company of scooters that cost 3 times as much. And so it was very, very impressive. The other thing the numbers don't tell you here is that it's ridiculously easy to get these numbers. It's like some scooters, you can do it, but it's a lot of work. And but this one, it's like you can't get it wrong. In the rain, in the dry, you just squeeze the lever real hard, lean back a little bit, and it just stops itself. It's got a drum in the front and a regen brake in the back with this ABS back there, and the drum tends to not want to lock anyway. but it gives you just kind of the right amount. I really love the brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I remember a long time ago, people were asking, hey, before you review the scooter, Chuck, everybody on Reddit was saying that you're going to topple over the front. That was like the big conversation at that time. And so that's what I did. I took it down a hill like an idiot and smashed the brakes as hard as I could. I mean, I leaned back. I'm not, I don't have a death wish, but it did not lock up.
Yeah.
And because it didn't lock up and I was leaning back, I really had it didn't feel like there was even a chance that I was going to topple over the front. And I don't think that has been in the news. I don't really hear any reports of that. So it's just well done.
Yeah.
It's just super well done. And we did adjust the brakes to get those numbers, right? I think out of the box, be a little bit more, right?
I adjusted the older one because it had kind of sagged a little bit, but at this one, I think
this one you didn't really adjust much.
maybe a little bit.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Okay.
But I think it came out of the box really, really good.
Okay.
So if I adjusted it, it was still
Yeah, and actually that braking distance for a single mechanical.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ABS
half.
in the rear, right,
Yeah.
where the motor is, but it's just the one mechanical drum brake in the front. And I'm thinking, I don't know if there's any other scooter that gets that like short of braking distance that doesn't have two brakes.
That's a good question. I don't think there is.
And maybe it's because you're not skidding the tires. Because, when I brake, a lot of my brake, I'm leaning back and I just, e-brake as hard as I can. And maybe that's, what I've been told. It's not the best technique. If you're really trying to go for the shortest distance, you want to go just before you lock the tires out so that you're still getting some traction.
Yeah. And this one's doing that for you automatically back there. And all of your attention gets to be on the front and not on the one that's not giving you any braking.
Yeah,
So,
interesting.
yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So I think the one thing that we didn't cover, right, already was this whole motor issue. And actually when we got the range test, we were like, when numbers don't look right, we've done enough of these tests where if numbers don't look right, we kind of know something's up. So so as soon as Paul came back from the range test, I think we were just like, okay,
we've got
this doesn't make sense.
2/3 of the battery, and we got less than half the range. And something doesn't
add
add
even
up.
in the four upgrades video, I think I even said like, hey, we expect to get high 20s because the older one got 28, and it has 2/3 the battery. But high 20s and 13 are wildly different when it comes to, because I can basically predict about right at this point how much range we're going to get, because you kind of understand how many watt hours per mile you get based on motor size and blah 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 blah. So this didn't make any sense, and so we kind of looked into it, and so what it turns out is that there's two generations of motors on this scooter. The Gen 1 motor is what we have in the original Max. And that motor, if you actually look at the serial number, model number, whatever that number is by that QR code, the first letter of it tells you what generation you have. So if it's a 6, it's a Gen 1 motor. And what the 6 means, I wish they would have made it a 7, because this is the easy way to remember what it means, right? As soon as the scooter gets below 70% power, it's going to lower the amount of power output, thereby saving range. It's going to suck on battery power a little bit less. And of course, you're going to get more range, but you're going to have less power. And that's how we got that 28 miles of range. If you have now the Ninebot Max, the newer one, right, has the second generation motor. And the way you know that is by turning the 6 upside down and turning it into a 9. And the 9 actually is really easy. It's really easy to like remember what this means, because at 9, well, you just 9 and 90%, 10%. Basically, you get full power until you are at 10%. So 90% of the battery.
Of the time.
Yeah, 90% of the time, or 90% of your battery, you are getting the full power.
Yeah.
Which
I really felt that too I was like, something's going on. When I was doing the range test, I kept, riding and watching the battery meter go down, down, and down. And it just was remarkable how consistent it was in just giving me, like going up hills at, 14 miles an hour. The very beginning of the battery, I'm going uphill at, 15, 16 miles an hour. At the very end of the battery, or, down to the last 10%, I'm going uphill at 14 miles an hour. So it was remarkable how consistent it was.
You felt like you
it was
basically
noticeable.
you would confirm for sure
Absolutely.
that you're getting full power on that thing until which is actually, I think, really rare.
Yeah.
Because most scooters, right, when you're doing it, you know, once you get to 50, you definitely, I notice, you know, a drop. And then when you get to 30, it's a more drop. And then when you get to like 15, 20,
and
it's
then
like
it was
you're barely getting up the hill.
And then it was kind of all at once at the end, but you know, then you know you kind of know you're done. And it gave me a lot of warning, you know, looking at the battery meter and all that. It just, you know, let me know what was going on. And then so not only so this new LP that we have has this new motor with the 9 at the beginning of the Generation 2 motor, but then apparently all the G30s now also have this second generation motor, and so they presumably will have this same performance. And that was a change that I've heard conflicting numbers. Carter Nordium at Nordbot, he told me that he thought it was around March. I've heard, you know, other people say August 2019, which seems way too early to me. But so I'm inclined to believe Carter's number because he really knows his stuff.
Shout out to Carter.
Yeah.
Thanks for your help, by the way.
Carter's been a huge help in us, you know, studying, gathering all of this data on these because the guy knows his Ninebots for sure.
So I think the interesting number to note is that if you are buying a new Ninebot Max, you probably will get slightly different power, acceleration, all that kind of stuff than we got, right? After 70%, right? Because most likely it's close up to that first 30% of your battery, right? If you're getting the new one, right? Because we're in the first 30%, because the older motor should have full power for the first 30. Right, but then after that Gen 2 motor, right, will do better in terms of power. But if this is getting confusing, all you really need to know is that you probably won't get 28 miles of range on the original Ninebot Max, because if you bought it today, you would have a Gen 2 motor, which is going to use more power. And I think we extrapolated the data, and I believe it's somewhere around 20 miles is what you had estimated, right, Paul?
Yeah,
20.4.
Yeah, so we're going to go down from the Big Max, where we used to get 28.1 miles.
This is real world range, folks. Not
uphill, downhill, going. You know,
this is our standard range test that we always do.
Yeah, expect that if we do swap in a G2 motor, so basically if you do get a new Big Max, expect about 20 miles on the big one, and then we know that we got 13.7,
something like that,
13.6 miles on the smaller one.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it depends on your commute. To be honest, I kind of like getting closer to 20. I mean, for me. But hey, I charge my scooter every day, so it's not a huge deal. And actually, it's kind of nice. So I'll tell you one of the reasons why I charge my scooter every day. It's not because, you know, I want to waste my time of plugging it in and bending over and getting it done. It's so that I get full power.
Yeah. And
so one of the crazy things that I just thought about is that, like, one of the kind of nice things about this scooter, and I guess the newer Ninebot Max, the newer version of the old Ninebot Max, the Gen 2 Ninebot Max, the one you'd buy today, you would get full power all the way to you know, so I wouldn't necessarily charge it every day, because if I know that, hey, I'm going to get my full power going up the hill, then I probably won't charge it all the time.
Yeah, makes sense.
Anyway, okay, let's talk about ride quality, build quality. I think that, let's go into that. So, I mean, ride quality, you know, what are you going to say about the ride quality on this thing?
It's built like an aluminum 2x4. I mean, it's like, I always want scooters to be more stiff, and this one, I think we found the limit. I mean, just like, it's all of a sudden, I can't imagine ever asking for more stem flex, but I almost want more stem flex because it was like kind of beating up my thumbs over bumps. It was sending the bumps back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm conflicted because I just love stiff frames. But
no, it's a tank. We'll talk about. I mean, we can talk about build quality too, but ride quality is, for me, it's this style of scooter is just so common, right? To me, it's like, maybe it's less nimble than like the Xiaomi M365 because the tires maybe a little bit smaller or whatever. The deck length, right? So your wheelbase is a little bit less than the original Max, so it's a little bit less stable. But I don't find a ton of difference in riding this than other scooters that have no suspension, similar wheelbases, such as like the Turboant X7 Pro. I just find that they're really similar in that, like, non-folding handlebars, so you get no wobble, right? So it's good. it's stiff. It's not. It's boring. It's boring. It's just boring. Let's just say it. It is boring. But
I did find
it's okay.
I did find the longer wheelbase. I was surprised how much more I liked the steering characteristics of the longer one. That it was just more stable and smoother. And I'm always talking about I don't recommend riding one-handed, but if you were riding one-handed, the OG, the larger Max is definitely the better one to do that on because it's just more stable.
Well, I mean, even with my size feet, I'm size 9 shoes. I definitely, even though, I can do a 17 point whatever inch deck. That's okay, because a lot of them are. But do I prefer 19 to 20? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to stretch
for
out.
Sure. Yeah, if I had one to buy, I'd go for the bigger one. We have a quick question in from Kim Richmond. Kim asks, does that mean... So we'll have to figure out what she's referring to. Does that mean a much shorter range because of sucking on the battery at full throttle? Was temperature any part of the discrepancy of almost half the range? And so I can answer a little bit about the temperature first, because I did the first range test. We also capture the average miles per hour, so we take that out of the equation. And so temperature will absolutely make a difference in the range of the scooter. However, our GPS unit actually tracks the weather, believe it or not. It has a temperature gauge inside of it. And we also tested these two scooters. If you look at the original Ninebot Max, I think it came out in December, a year ago. And so the temperature was almost exactly the same. I think they were both right around like the 50s.
Yeah, that was one of the first questions that Justin asked me was, what was the temperature? And I checked, it was like 57 degrees that day, so nothing extreme.
Yeah, no, if you're off by 20, 30 degrees, you might get a bit of a difference, but a few degrees, you're not going to notice much. And then she also says much shorter range because of sucking on the battery at full throttle. And I think we kind of answered that, is that the LP, you're going up the hill. You're getting full power all the time, whereas the original, the Gen 1 motor that we had was sipping on it much less after 70%. Exactly. So you have 60% of the battery of the battery's capacity that you are. However they measure battery capacity, but 60% about, you are getting more power from a Gen 2 motor, which is what's in the LP. And that's the big discrepancy. That's what we talked about. So let's see, build, I think we have to quickly just talk about build quality and mods, and then I want to be able to get to our top 5 scooters for build quality, which this is one of, but let's talk about build quality real quick.
Yeah, and so one of the standout features of this and the original Max is the IPX5 water rating.
Legit. Is legit too.
Yeah, it's
as long as you can get that little cover in there.
Yeah.
If you get some sideways rain, I don't know what would happen.
Yeah, and the original one, I mean, it's so well done. Even if you didn't, close it, but even if you didn't, that thing is like...
it closes on its own. It's spring-loaded.
But it looks like it's completely watertight, even if the lid weren't closed, but no reason not to.
In our review, we basically, for the pros of this scooter, we said build quality, build quality, build quality, and something else that I don't remember, because it doesn't matter, because it's really, if you're going to buy the scooter, it's for build quality. Yeah. And they're both, I don't know that there's a difference, I mean, except for maybe that cover port, which is... whatever, it is a difference, but like these scooters, in my opinion, are actually kind of quite a bit above almost anything else. Yeah. Like probably anything else.
Yeah, I agree.
So build quality, fantastic. This is, when there's a scooter that we need to take to the store randomly, we don't want to check screws, or, we don't know who's ridden it because there's, different people that ride different things. The one that we turn to are always the Ninebot Max scooters. They're just the ones that are, it's synonymous with the word, dependable. In my mind, dependability, they own that word in my mind. Yeah. You're going to get range, at least on the original. Yeah. You're going to have a scooter, even if it has one bar, I know I can take it a mile or two. Mm-hmm. So
my notes I have here, reliable as a hammer.
Yeah, it is. Probably could use it as a hammer. Paul, you had some mods that you were looking into, right?
Yeah, and so it's interesting. So one of the things I read online, people were asking about, hey, do you think you could swap the big battery from the big Max into the LP, and people are saying, oh, it's shorter, so probably not. And I've got a picture here of, I was very curious about this, and of course we have two of them, so I have to open them up. And so you look inside, and both of those batteries, so on top is the OG Big Max, and it's the dark color one there, and then the bottom is the LP. And you can see those battery cases are identical. I mean, they're both 14 and 1/8 inches long. The LP, the bottom one, if you tap on the front of it, it's very hollow sounding. So clearly there aren't cells going all the way to the front of that. But it really looks like, and don't say I said you could do this, but it really looks like you could do a pretty direct swap of the big battery into the little one. They're both 36 volts. And we know this system is pretty tolerant of volts anyway, because Nordium, so Carter Nordium at nordbot.shop offers a 48 volt upgrade battery for this. It's 968 watt hours. It's like almost twice the battery of the big one.
There you go.
And so very curious
Pack it in
about that, and it just fits right in the space. It basically, I imagine, just fills the entire space with batteries. So there must be even some airspace in the bigger the one here that we're seeing. And yeah, and so that's kind of an exciting thing. It bumps the top speed up to something in the 30s, which is kind of hard to picture. I do think there is a little bit of firmware massaging that goes on and convincing it to do that. And in fact, some of the videos I saw, the scooters like beeping, going, "I'm going too fast, beep beep beep." Yeah,
they say that.
It doesn't say it, but like there's an overspeed. I tend to put words in the mouths of machines.
We should do that, like Tesla. They have those like custom horns and stuff.
When I was at Lime, I always wanted to put a put me down, stop stealing me, message in the scooter. So many of them got
with your voice.
So many of them got stolen. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, and if you're gonna get some at the Nordbot store, we just chatted with him earlier today, and he gave us a little coupon code. So ESG for Nord.
Yeah, exclusive, $5 off any order at nordbot.shop.
That's cool.
Yeah. He's also sending us a 5-amp charger. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Because we want to test out. There's a big charger that you can use with the original, the OG G30, and we want to find out. We're really pretty sure we're going to be able to use it with the LP also, but we're going to find out because he sent us one. So thank you, Carter.
Cool. Okay. So next up. Okay, we're going to do our top 5. So as we're making this, all this content and everything and thinking about build quality, we're thinking to ourselves, well, what are our favorite or the top 5 scooters for build quality right now? At least the ones that we have, which is 60 of them.
I think we've got a bumper for this even.
Yes, let's do this. All right, here we go. Top 5 scooters for build quality. Yeah.
I love any bumper that integrates impact wrenches into the sounds of the bumper. This makes me feel right at home.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So the number 5 scooter for build quality, Inokim Ox O, elegant scooter, just fits together like a dime. Just amazing.
It is a high-end build.
Yes.
It's gorgeous.
Yes. Very good. Paul, what's number 4?
Number 4 is the Wolf Warrior, and it's really, I always mention I'm a motorcyclist, but maybe some of you haven't seen the show before, so I'll mention it again. I'm a motorcycle rider, and I love what I love about the Wolf Warrior is the thing is just built like a motorcycle. It's very vehicle-like.
I feel like it's got motorcycle parts on the Wolf Warrior.
Yeah, and I mean the forks, it nearly does. It's the only one that has kind of like a full-on motorcycle fork setup. We've got a couple of photos of the Wolf. We've got one of the Wolf in the wild here, sporting the street tires, and then we've got another close-up of the front end, and you can see like all the beefy bits and pieces. That thing is it rides just like it looks. Too.
Basically, like in the Philippines, like everybody's on a Zero or a Wolf Warrior. Seems like, right? All their photos all the time. There's so many of them out there, and they just ride them constantly.
It looks like a very expensive scooter to build, and I'll bet if it wasn't for the price, which is totally justified by the build, I think we would see those things just everywhere because it's such a good scooter.
Yeah. Ramir, number 3.
Oh, number 3. Shocker. Uh-oh.
Oh. Uh-oh. 1 second.
So
Tap it. There we go. There we go.
There I am.
What's number 3?
So number 3, we have the E2W GT. Tiny tank of a scooter. It's tiny, but it can hold you.
It does. It's the GT, but it's kind of all those things. I'm telling you, people ride them for days.
For years.
Years, in fact.
Couple years.
Yeah. Okay. Number 2. A little bit of a shocker, and I'm changing my mind about this scooter because I think I gave it a hard time in the review. But Mantis 8, straight up, when they fixed that stem issue a while back, that thing went from 0 to hero. What is it? Worst to first.
Worst to first.
Worst to first. It crushes, and it's my daily commuter right now.
And that one for me is it's build quality and ride quality. Just the whole everything.
So good.
Everything just comes together.
It's hard to. I wish I could redo that review because I would like to just say different stuff.
There's always the dual motor.
I know I need that dual motor because actually if it did have that little extra power for the hills, I mean downhill you can go over 30 easily on it, but uphill 18, 19. Okay. What's number 1?
And number 1, of course, is the G30LP. The thing just sets the standard. Actually, it's both G30s.
Yeah.
The
Either
G30
one.
and the LP because they have the same quality. And it's like you're kind of saying how the 365 was kind of the scooter herd around the world.
Yeah.
But this is another just another epic scooter that kind of set the bar. And it's been out for a little while, and I feel like there's not really anything else that has caught up except for the LP. Here it is.
Yeah, no, if it wasn't for the original Max, we would probably review the LP so much better. Yeah. Because it's just, these scooters are all good, but I think there is actually a gap between number 2 and number 1.
Yeah.
I think,
agree.
in my opinion. There's just, they have just taken it to another level. Anyway, okay, this has been your top 5 scooters for build quality. We are now moving on. We are going to do a quick commercial break sponsored by, used scooters, maker of the GT. Let's do it.
I'm back again with the news.
All right.
First news story. Uber Jump's e-bikes are now for sale to consumers for $700 each. But it's a minimum 4-unit order, so you have to order a pallet worth.
And those bikes are hefty. I'm not sure that's the e-bike I would get, but that's cheap for an e-bike.
Yeah, top speed is 20 miles per hour. The range is around 25 to 40. We don't have one, so we have not tested it, but that's what they're saying.
Jump is part of Lime?
They are now.
Yeah. So maybe Paul's got the hookup if we ever get into e-bikes. I don't know. Okay, next. So this is kind of interesting. There was an article out, and basically what they're showing is and graphing out is back in the day in the 80s and stuff like that, we had this like transistor microprocessor just revolution, right? That just disrupted so many things from, your watch to calculators were invented from that, right? All these different things. Well, what this article is saying is that because of the price of lithium ion batteries coming down so much, you can kind of see the per kilowatt hour graph right there on your screen. This is what's causing the disruption in not just micromobility, but a lot of things, transportation, energy, all that kind of stuff. And it's actually what, we're talking about this before, it's more so than, the motors. What has made electric scooters come to be what it is today is the fact that we have lithium ion batteries. We would not be here if we had the nickel cadmium, old school, crazy, heavy, whatever batteries that you can still buy if you get this. I won't say the name of the scooter. The fastest scooter on Amazon, that one. But if you shout out to whoever made that video, but the lithium ion is really what took electric scooters, and if the price keeps going down on them, like we're gonna have more disruption in transportation. You're gonna see cheaper, better, more interesting forms, I think.
Yeah, and I think the odds are pretty good. It's going to keep going down. If you look at the volume, like how many electric cars there are now and how many there will be 10 years from now.
Oh my gosh.
If this scaling of battery production got us a 10x, then who knows what we're getting next. And it's the most expensive part of the scooter still. So
yeah. And so think about it, right? Like whereas before, you couldn't have a cell phone until all that stuff got so small, right? And cheap. And so like if everything's getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, right? All of a sudden, all these things, this is not just scooters, this is cars, right? And speaking of cars, the next article is actually about how Massachusetts, like California, is actually vowing to ban gas-powered vehicles sales by 2035, which seems really far away, but it's actually only 14 years away, which is like, not that long in terms of a old, 100-year-old, 100 and whatever old industry like the automobile. So it's super interesting, what is happening. And I mean, you can see the trends, right? You can kind of see it. I think we can kind of see where this is all going.
Okay. Last story.
Last story.
All right. So we're doing the last story. So Miami suspends shared scooter program to thwart unsafe underage driving and sidewalk clutter. So I guess people wasn't following the rules like they do in most shared scooters.
Yeah.
So Miami was like,
Miami? Really? I'm surprised.
Get those kids off the scooter.
They're just suspending it, though.
Miami.
They might bring it back. It's
Don't
just a permit.
Don't they let everybody on the beach in spring break during COVID? And they're
That's true. They're worried about scooters.
And they're worried about scooters?
Yeah,
Come on, Miami. What are you doing, Miami?
They're funny with the permits, though. They can
Okay.
pull it at any time, and then they suspend it, so they'll probably bring it back.
Yeah, bring it
Florida's
back.
kind of Florida.
I mean, Florida's an interesting place, to say the least. Cool. All right, guys. So we love our Facebook community. Oh, first of all, I just want to give a shout out to everybody that's watching right now. If you all are watching this, all 90, 100 people online, I think we were right at 100 earlier. Give us a quick thumbs up, just to show us that love. If you're on Facebook, hit that like button right now. Shout out to you guys, and thanks for watching the show. We love our Facebook community. Now it's time for the Facebook
giveaway.
Let's do it. The Facebook giveaway is sponsored by Apollo. You can get this.
There we go. Oh, there we go. More fingers pointing at the thingamajigger.
So, sponsored by Apollo. Shout out to Chris and Mac from Apollo Scooters. Thank you so much for the generous giveaway. It's the Xiaomi Mi air pump, which is like the coolest air pump you can get. It's really small. I think it has up to 150 PSI or something.
Yeah,
pressure.
Huge number like that.
Crazy,
it's amazing.
like
Little
that.
tiny
It's
box.
Nuts.
I want one.
Yeah, I want one too. It also looks cool.
Yeah,
and so it's small, so you can keep in your bag. So whatever. It's just a little easier than having the giant pumps. Like, my wife's old car, man. She had this one tire that literally every month. Guess who's pumping that thing up? We look at it, we're like, oh, it's flat again. You don't have to measure. You can see it. And guess who's pumping up her tires before I get to go to work, right? For 20 minutes usually. Sometimes she'll come out for the last 10 of it, or the last 5, some of it, right? But you know who's there, right? We had it parked on the street where we used to do the reviews all the time. Yeah. Anyway, this would have been a really nice thing to have. For that, because you can pump up car tires, scooter tires, whatever. It's just smaller, right? This is what it's all about. It's micromobility. It's not big pump mobility, right? Who wants to carry a giant pump with non-folding handlebars, right? Yeah. You want micro anyway. All right, let's do this.
All right, so you guys know how it works. We're gonna take the die. Chuck's gonna roll a die, and whatever it lands on, we're gonna hit the randomizer that many times, and we'll see who the winner is. Good luck, everyone. Here we go. Roll a die, Chuck.
Oh,
6. He rolled a 6. Is that 2 weeks in a row? Did you do a 6 last week?
Maybe 2 weeks ago was a 6.
Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. Number 1. All right. Number 2. All right. Number 3. All right. Number 4. Okay. Number 5.
I'm glad we never got that D20. Someone was telling us about it. It's funny that Paul knows what that is.
Yeah.
Number 6. All right, who's the winner?
Jesse Duffy.
Who?
Jesse Duffy.
Jesse Duffy.
Duffy!
You are the winner. Ooh, wonderful.
Jesse.
All right,
So,
Jesse.
David, look out for a message from David
Yeah,
Ross.
Mr. David will be.
I was ready.
I hit that.
I was ready.
Hit that. Anyway, thank you guys for. So shout out to Apollo. Thanks so much for that. Next week I'm not sure what we're gonna do next week for the live show, but stay tuned for it because it's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be
something's gonna be. I was thinking writing group stuff, but we gotta get started right away. I see all you guys in the comments. We love you guys. Thanks for supporting us every single week. Thanks for watching this with us. I hope you guys had a really happy new year. Stay safe out there. If it's snowing or raining, you better ride safe.
Thanks again, Carter.
Yeah, thanks Carter for the help with the Ninebot Max research. That's been a couple weeks in the making.
Yeah.
It's nice when we finish up it's like a 2-week sprint, and then it's all done, and we just then we can go start on the next one.
Yeah.
Time
We're
flies when
Ninebot
you're having
pros
fun.
now.
Yeah, Ox. Look for that Ox review coming Saturday. Anyway,
All right.
all right, guys, ride safe. Don't forget to wear your helmet. We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.
My papers hit Richie in the face. Whoopsie.